This is a song about that vision that Titahi wrote. Yeah, and it's about that whole story. Tui.
He aha te hau, he aha te hau, e wawara mai. He tiu he rā ki nāna, ia mai te pūpū taraki hiki uta. E te kina tu e hau, te kotu ko ia te pau. Te pau whakairo katu, ki wai te mata, i oku wairangi e. He aha te hau, he aha te hau, e wawara mai. He tiu he rā ki nāna, ia mai te pūpū taraki hiki uta. I te kina tu e hau, te kotu ko ia te pau whakairo katu, i wai te mata, i oku wairangi e, ko kiri. It was a matter of indoctrinating our people into new religions and bringing them away from a lot of their touch with earth, wind, fire and water, and bringing them closer to doctrines from another culture. And then, if you can turn people's hearts that way, then get them in the building, tell them new stories with new actors. Then you indoctrinate them, and you know the colonizing influence, and bringing them around to your way of thinking is easier.
The landscape changes, the story remains the same.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Landscape changes, the actors change. We've got beautiful stories that give us courage and strength of who we are, where we come from, why we are to be, our relationship with the universe and an atom, and our creation stories. But for many years, those were cast aside as heathen type. Some of our behaviour, true, was a wee bit unorthodox, I must say, because we were warrior people.
Like, for example?
We were warlike people who, if we had disagreements, they were sorted and often with death.
You know what I was getting when you were talking about that? It's like almost the sacrifice, knowing that they may not accept it immediately, but not giving up, not giving in, never quitting.
No, never give up.
This is the Maori culture is part of all New Zealanders now.
Yeah, and slowly taking its mark. The language is slowly coming back in there. In the 80s, when I first started teaching, we had this week is Māori Language Week.
I
never really worried about Māori Language Week because every day is a Māori Language Day for me. And so all year is a Māori Language year, so all my life has been Māori language. But we have a significant week where the whole of Aotearoa participates. Schools have a focus on Māori Language Week, and they introduce words and sing a lot of our waiata. And it's great, it's brilliant. I'm not knocking it.
Right.
It's brilliant, and we support it. Absolutely. We have significant events all around the country for this week. The news, the news broadcasters speak a lot of the reo. And, when they're talking about parts of the country, whether it's going to be fine or wet, they've got them all named in the proper names, the original names.
Yeah.
And so people are making I think, a genuine effort.
Yeah, not only is it a satisfaction, but it's also recognizing that's part of evolution too, isn't it?
Yeah, because we aren't going away. Sadly. I mean, you want to decimate a people, you get rid of their language. You get rid of their language, you get rid of their people. So they tried to get rid of the language. They tried to get rid of everything. And it was getting rid of this and taking all of that.
Right.
And our people, in all due respect to my parents and their parents, they could see what was happening. They understood the vision. And they did the best that they could. But, when democracy works for a majority, so, if we, in the 1830s, 1840s, democracy would have worked because we had more Māori here than European.
Right.
Now, democracy works for the majority. In Māori, our numbers are down now, and so, one man, one vote. We vote. We have to vote to make a statement. But in many ways it's pretty insignificant when the numbers are now counted on the other side of this democratic society.
Right, and he's got to start converting.
Yeah. So we just casted our vote today. Māori Party.
Yeah.
I know what you respect to the other parties too, but Māori Party.
So this is beautiful here.
Yeah, Lawrence. If we find Lawrence, they have just repaired it, so it does look brand newly painted because they just did a maintenance job on our maho here. It's our maho, And my father built that so that visitors didn't get wet when it rained. So he's very much a doer. So I was like, we need this, and so he just went and did it.
Wow.
And then the carvings are of I have heard the story, but sorry, I've forgotten.
And the carver is the same carver that did the...
This one, no. No, and in the whare, no, because it was done in the 70s, he was too young. But Lawrence Makware was part of the restoration of it, so if I see him.
And this is for the visitors, and there is for the...
Yes, when you go, you enter in through underneath this shelter.
Great.
But I know it had to do with waka, and so all the symbols of the sea, of the waves there. Rongo mai is a... our waka is Mahuhu Kitarangi, and Rongo mai was the captain, so that's Rongo mai at the top as the captain of that waka. We're not talking the original when they came from the islands. It's our waka.
So Blackie was saying that all of the, you can trace your roots back to different places where people have come from. So you're saying there's a sort of connection between all native populations.
Yeah. The ultimate connection.
The world.
Yeah. The ultimate connection here is you take a good look at the house. Take a good look at the house, and just see how it's shaped. So what you've got is when you ascend, and you come from the sea, or you come from visitors come from wherever the elements they come from, wherever they traverse the seas. The visitors come up and they're in front here. What's significant about the house is that the house is stretched out. And the house is alive, because it's modelled around the shape of a person. So you've got a carving at the top, significant carving, or a representation. There is the kahu. That kahu was the native eagle,
right?
Big black eagle, and it existed once upon a time. And so you have significant on the house itself. You have significant carvings. If the arms give strength, then those will be carvings of strength. We won't go into details of these ones. Again, over here, these carvings along the front there, they've been taken down. They're being restored at the moment. The carvings on the front will be significant because they have to be strong links of people to the land. Hence the reason, as your feet are strong, so too are the carvings. And as you enter inside the doorway that you can see, then you enter inside the heart of your ancestor. So if visitors arrive here, there's a welcome that goes on, traditional welcome, and a challenge is put out, and a challenger will come out with that weapon and do the ultimate challenge, and it's about seeing whether they come in peace or in war. If they pick the challenge up, they come in peace. If they leave the challenge, then it's all on. It's all on, and people die, and many people have died over the history of time, because our people are fighting people, and sometimes it's a bit of guerrilla warfare when you're outnumbered, but our people are pretty fair too. They were here to take this land and take over this part of the country. They'll come in full force. So it's no hidden agendas. It's all we call it kanohi te kanohi. Pukuhiwi to pukuhiwi, face to face, shoulder to shoulder, in front up.
Yeah.
Now, if these people can then decide, well, maybe we better accept them as friends, so therefore you form an alliance. no blood is shed. But that's all to be negotiated out here. It's all to be negotiated on that marae. And those are the speeches that take place as well. So today, the speeches that take place, the battles that take place are political. A lot of them are more to do with welcoming schools for education. So you know, the purpose for it changes over time. But the significance of the house, coming into the warmth of the body, still remains from traditional times. Oh, yeah, what we call kawa. They have a traditional way of welcoming the people onto the marae. Sometimes they'll send out a challenger who'll come out onto the marae with one of these weapons and offer a challenge. And lay it down. And everybody today picks it up because everyone comes in peace.
Yes.
Even though there's going to be a bit of controversy, no doubt. That's usually the weapons now today are weapons of words. And sometimes words actually, they cut deeper than a weapon. You know, someone who's very powerful, you know, with speech, and very powerful at influence with debate. Sometimes he can get into your heart much deeper than a weapon can.
Yeah, a slow bleed.
Yeah, slow bleed. It is. It certainly is.
Yeah.
But welcome. This is the marae of two Mataoinga. If any blood's to be shed, it happens here on this area. And I've cleared us. You know, I've cleared us up there at that carving.
Yeah.
We had our karakia up top there.
Yes.
Which will allow us to do all this. Come into this. You know, that was a sacred domain. This is another sacred domain. You know, there are karakia for every domain, but I cleared us all from the top. So, you know, we'll just. That's the dining room. You know, more significant. You know, there was always a place to eat traditionally, but more significantly is this house, and all the carvings that have been taken down, but all the carvings that represent the migration. Usually, I think, you know, there'll be all the links to the migration of the 80 or so canoe that came here, that arrived here. But in our stories, we only talk about 8 or 9 of them. Where, you know, they sort of recognise as the more significant ones, canoes which brought, you know, different tribes to our country. Why don't you only sing and talk about 8 or 9, but in actual fact, there are about 70, 80.
Is the worm represented in any of this? The worm that you were talking about?
It's a way for us to maintain our story and our origin.
Yeah.
Our origin story.
Is it here?
You've got the Serpentine. You've got the
Right.
Serpentine.
Wait, which?
Yeah, which is a link to
The earth,
not just the land, not just the earth, but to the sea as well. Also a link to the sea as well. Yeah.
So the only non-filming here will be that back wall, but otherwise we can.
In the back wall inside?
The back wall inside.
Yeah, okay.
And you'll see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can, no filming of the back wall would be good. Come on, you're fine. You'll notice too that you know, this is traditionally these were carved, but all of these patterns are significant. But this is, you know, this is wood carving. This is I don't know what it's called, but it's lasered on a single flat sheet, and then curved around. So it's using technology. Traditional house, yes, in all of the stories, traditionally carved in wood, essentially, but also technology. It's also taken place.
Using the old and the new.
Old and the new, yep. It's always the way to go. Chewy will go around. Chewy, let us in. I talked earlier about outside the house, and that's the marae of Tu, who is the guardian of challenge, of this weaponry, as the guardian of fighting, of warfare, so that if any challenges are going to go down, that will happen out there on that marae. Once you enter through this door, then significantly you've entered into the bosom of Mother Earth, or into the body of the ancestor. So this is another domain, it's a domain of peace.
Yeah.
So
it's very potent.
Yeah, and, you know, it's and here is sleeping, creating new generations. It's about sharing the stories. This is where it all happens, and that's even more significant and aided by representations of ancestors. And you'll see that these and they were carved, beautifully carved. But there was a fire in the original building, and a fire. You can see that they're blackened out. Most of the carvings have lost their intricate design. But what Tui's father and a few other people did was took the carvings, held them, and they sandblasted them and brought them back to life. So significantly, they still represent. A strong representation of the people, tribes around the country. Yeah. Significant stories. You just can't see the carved design now. Yeah. But still, a lot of people did not agree that once they were burnt, they should have been buried and new carvings done. But this is what's happened. There's been nothing.
My dad is a very practical man. He knew that today you would never be able to legally collect one piece of these totara. You wouldn't be able to get the wood anymore. No. Because we don't let our trees grow this old. So for them, and because our house is so big, he knew we would never be able to afford to have them redone. And because he believed that, and we do believe that they are a representation of our ancestors. Right. So he said they're fine. Yeah. In his values and within himself, he believed that.
Yeah, they also carry some energy also that contributes, right?
Definitely.
So new.
Through the ashes.
Yeah.
And that's sort of a story
of the people.
Of us.
Yeah.
Coming out.
Rising. Yeah. Nice. Is there some kind of, the energy is quite different in here than it's beautiful energy all around, and here there is a quite potent. Yes. Is there some
it is also maintained, I think, through our rituals. It is maintained and sustained through the people. Just recently there was a tangi here, so a funeral was only, would have been last week. We had 2 of our people pass, elders, so that might be
still around.
To it. But also when you asked out the front if the name of Tumutumu Whenua of that being, which the closest we can liken it to is a worm, is Tumutumu Whenua. Initially his dwelling was a cave, and so when you walk in here it is cave-like, and this whole structure is actually, you're walking like slightly on an incline.
Yeah.
Walking into the land.
Yeah.
Hello and thank you.
Yeah,
and welcome
and well, yeah, but ora means to live. So kia ora is really a good life, to be alive. Because we do a haka, the kamate, kaora, and then it talks about it's a life or death. So an ora's in there. Ora's in there. Look up the All Black haka, and then you'll see the haka. You'll see the sporting haka.
The house.
Yeah, or they do a haka on the sports field. On the sports field.
The All Blacks. I've seen them. Yeah. I've got
and they're talking about kamate, kaora. Is it going to be life or death? You Aussie buzzards. And then we go out there and deal to them.
He likes it.
Yeah. But it's nice. It's a pleasure meeting.
Yeah.
You all.
So much.
Not so much you two, but you all.
Y'all.
And you know, you represent, you know, all of your people as well. You travel safe in our country, you'll be fine. You're in good hands.
I think we've started our journey like at the top.
Oh, okay. There's a start. Yeah, you just I think it's a significant start too. That you link with the land and the people, and you know, there's a lot more to tell you and to share with you, but I think we'll just call it here for now. And we've got our phone numbers and things. Maybe we have a meal or something sometime, somehow, somewhere, something like that.
Gift for you guys from our hearts. So
Okay. Oh, we can put that on film too, but we'll just finish up here the way we began, and it'll be nice. Yeah. That's it. E tū mātou ngā tūkai taua no hau te pai kia tōhia rangatira, tōhia rākau ka wanui, tōhia kia mānama, tōhia kia maia, tōhia niwha, tōhia ka para, tōhia kia toa he toa. Tō te patu hō ngāngare, tō te tomo whā, tō te tūpare kore hei te pōpōtanga te rāro, te komo mai a matari ki haumi e hui e tai ki e. Tēnei no kei te matatau ka eke, he runga e nei, te tokorua, ko haere nei te mata o te ao. Ko tai mai kei mura te aroa ngā tihi maunga te one nei tapu, tēnei wahanga tō tātou nei whenua o Aotearoa. He runga iau āwhatanga e whakamoemi te aki ana. He runga iau āwhatanga noa, manaki tia mai, arataki na pai mai rāua. Kia haere pai atu, kia hoki pai mai. Tau mai te tō mai rangi o ata whai e te hau e te ahi e te wai e te whenua. Ki runga kia rāua. Ki runga a ngai tāua nei nā e whai atu ana te reo me ona ke tikanga. E runga i nei āwhatanga, waihoa kia puarekerenga ngā kua ho tēnei whare, tēnei marae. Te Māori e whakatau nei ko te Māori o e nei tikanga. Ko te Māori e whakatau nei ko te Māori o te manaaki ki te tangata. Manaki tanga whānui tonu. Nō reira, tiakina pai mano ki rāwa rātau e uatua uri whā i o i ka tatamarona ki te whakore i a rāwa, i a rātau. Nō tā ngā mahi katoa mea tīmata me mahi ma whakotiro ti a koe tau. Kia whiwhanui mātou nei tō ranga tonutanga te mea atu whai tēnei rai tēnei rangi. Tārewa whakatū ki te rangi. Haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. Kia ora tātou.
Kia ora tātou.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you for blessing us with your welcome.
Please, there, Alex reached out.
Ben.
All of our students know. We're here for life. Oh, so wide, and he'd come into the world to carry on, carry on. But soon his eyes were open, oh so wide, very wide, and with just one look I knew that God was on his side. And as he grew, I gave him all the love I had inside, and I knew that he would carry it throughout his life, throughout his life. Carry on.
Kia nice.
Thank you. Popped into my head, I haven't even sung that in years. Oh, same.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool.
Thank you.
The soul.